Question addressed to the Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable members, the table has been advised that PQB 462, PQB 644 have been withdrawn. Honourable third member for Babajee and Petite Rivière.
641, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, as the House is aware, the Gambling Regulatory Authority Amendment Act was passed on the 4th of July of 2025 and came into operation on the 7th of July 2025. The main aim of this amendment was to do away with the horse racing division and set up instead the horse racing integrity division, which has now the responsibility to protect the integrity of horse racing and ensure that horse racing is fair, clean, and free from corruption or malpractice. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, let me remind the House why we came up with the Horse Racing Integrity Division. The defunct Horse Racing Division had developed an incestuous relationship with a gambling don at the time. The people at the Horse Racing Division were working hand in hand with the organizer of horse racing, who also had his hand in the whole gambling industry. This unacceptable state of affairs tarnished the integrity of the whole racing industry. It totally destroyed public confidence in the horse racing industry and led to the oldest stable in Mauritius, the Gajador stable, to actually fold after more than a century of running horses in Mauritius. And they said they will come back only if there is an operation to clean up this corruption. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the government is determined to relaunch the horse racing industry. This was one of the promises made during the electoral campaign, and we are sticking to our promise. There have been hurdles, but we are overcoming them, and the horse racing organizer is, I understand, doing its utmost to ensure that horse racing starts at the earliest possible. We want a racing industry which will promote the welfare and leisure of the race-going public and bring back the race goers to the Champ de Mars. Already I can say, last Saturday, I was informed that the racing public had come in numbers far higher than before to the Champ de Mars to watch the first barrier trials of the season. Apparently there were more people present last Saturday at the racing than what happened yesterday, and also I won the one organized last year by the defunct People Turf PLC of the gambling don. Mr. Deputy Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed by the Gambling Regulatory Authority that the recruitment exercise was done in a transparent way and in line with best practices. The Gambling Regulatory Authority approved at its special meeting of 21st of February 2025 and 11th of March 2025, the launching of expressions of interest for the various positions within the proposed Horse Racing Integrity Division in anticipation to a new code, a new structure being codified. Now, the expressions of interest were published in 3 newspapers and on the website of the Gambling Regulatory Authority. At the Gambling Regulatory Authority board meeting of the 2nd of April 2025, an interview panel was constituted for all the posts comprising 3 board members of the Gambling Regulatory Authority. After the closing date for the submission of expressions of interest, an administrative screening exercise was carried out to ascertain that the qualifications and experience criteria were met. The candidates who satisfied these criteria were then called for an interview. The report of the interview panel for the positions of Chief Stipendiary Steward and the Deputy Chief Stipendiary Steward was approved by the board on the 23rd of April 2025 and on 11th of June of this year for the other posts. Letters of award and service contracts were issued as on the 4th of July of this year. I'm tabling a list of all those persons who have been successful and accepted the letters of offer. As for part B of the question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'm informed that due diligence was carried out by the AML CFT team of the GRA as per its internal procedures, which included a Supreme Court, check. A Mauritius Revenue Authority, check. World check. Sanction list, criminal records, and media search. Furthermore, all selected candidates who have accepted the appointment have been given time to produce their certificate of character as soon as possible.
Yes, you have already.
Merci, Monsieur le Vice-président. Puisqu'on parle d'intégrité, Monsieur le Vice-président, le Premier ministre est-il au courant que sur le nouveau board des Stipes se trouve Monsieur YN, qui avait démissionné comme commissaire au MTC pour avoir accepté un cadeau d'un jockey, un délit qu'on peut considérer comme étant grave. Et aussi un ex-entraîneur, M. PM, qui avait été sanctionné pour dopage par le nouveau Chief Stipe de la HRID. De plus, M. AR et AR, deux proches de M. JMLS et de PTP, respectivement, sont parmi les nouvelles recrues. Le Premier ministre peut-il nous dire s'il est satisfait justement de ce due diligence process qui a été effectué?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I don't run the GRA. They have their duty, they went through a procedure. This is what I explained, and these are the people who were selected after this very, very thorough procedure that was made.
Okay, one last question.
Yes.
A question, not a statement.
Le Premier ministre peut-il dire à la Chambre quels sont les critères qui ont été pris en compte pour le choix du Chief Stipe, et sait-il que ce monsieur, le monsieur SDC, faisait partie du Licensing Committee de la GRA avant même sa nomination? N'est-ce pas un cas flagrant de conflit d'intérêts où un licencié, je termine, de la GRA agissait aussi comme décideur pour le régulateur? Est-ce que cela ne le disqualifie-t-il pas pour ce poste?
As I said, don't run the GRA, but my information, he was never on the licensing committee.
You have one question? Okay, one last one.
May I ask the Honourable Prime Minister whether he can confirm that among the Stipes who have been nominated, freshly nominated, there are members of the Mauritius Turf Club?
I think, as far as I understand, they had all taken leave. It's a new paradigm that we're doing. They are not there anymore.
Yes, question B642 have been withdrawn, so we proceed with question B643.
Yes, B643,
Honourable
Mr. Deputy
First
Speaker.
Member for la Carrière.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, with your permission, I'm replying to parliamentary question B643, and I'm not sure whether you said 646 is also withdrawn. Otherwise, I'll answer to both of them together. I'm informed by the Commissioner of Police that reward money is paid to police officers who engage in the fight against dangerous drugs based on the following factors. First, the nature and the circumstances, the person arrested and the number thereof, the quantity and value of drugs and exhibits secured, the risk involved, and the reliability and regularity of the informers. With regard to the quantum allocated to police officers in each of the past 5 years, I'm providing this information. 2020-2021, a sum of 6,220,000 rupees was budgeted, but 1,113,800 were disbursed to informers, and 225,540 to police officers. You can see the big difference. Police officers were getting less than the informers. Again, for 2021-2022, 224,000 for police officers, but 13,269,200 for informers. Again, in 2022-2023, 229,740 to police officers, but 74,485,040 rupees for informers. I must say, in 2023-2024 and in 2024-25, no money was dispersed to police officers at all, but the informers got 2023-2024, 84,613,750 rupees, and the last year 14,300 rupees. Let me give the details of the monthly disbursement for the reward of money from July 2024 to December 2024. In July, the total amount disbursed was 4,586,450 rupees. In August 2024, it was 368,900 rupees. But in September 2024, it jumped to 11,242,900. And in October 2024, it jumped to 38,932,450. You'll be glad to hear that in November and December of this year, the amount disbursed is nil, zero. Now, the House will note, I'm sure they have seen the expression, that from September to October 2024, a total amount of 50,175,350 rupees was paid as reward money, not to police officers, only to informers. Now, this is 2 months prior to the general election. You can guess the reason why this happened. Mr. Deputy Speaker, one disturbing element that comes from that information is that the amount disbursed exceeds by 4 the amount budgeted. In other words, as usual, just give money that is not theirs. This in itself raises several questions as to the manner in which that money was disbursed. It is worth mentioning that in 2014, it was decided to put an end to the practice of giving reward money, and there was very strong suspicion of abuse. However, in 2016, this is when we left government, but in 2016, the practice was restored. Now, in 2020, soon after his appointment, the then Commissioner of Police, Mr. Seeburn, tried to rationalize it, because he wasn't allowed to change it, but he tried to rationalize the procedure through an amendment to the Police Standing Order 122. Subsequently, in 2021, Mr. Seeburn was gone. New Commissioner of Police, Mr. Anil Kumar Dip, he again amended the Standing Order, Police Standing Order 122, which allowed payment to reward money to informers, although the case may not have been disposed by the court, even before he was giving the money. And also simply from obtaining a report from the forensic lab that certifying that the exhibits were secured as dangerous drugs. Mr. Deputy Speaker, is it a coincidence that as from 2022, we note a phenomenal increase to the amount disbursed, as I said, to informers, with hardly any money given to police officers? Even a cursory look at some of the information provided suggests that those at the helm of the police were wallowing in a muck of malfeasance and corruption, with a deeply entrenched complicity throughout the whole procedure put in place. In fact, the whole procedure was put in place for them to be able to do this. It also begs the question as to what exactly was the role of the manager financial operations and the internal control play in the management and finance of the police force. This is being inquired into. What was their role? What were they there for? Mr. Deputy Speaker, as the House is aware, the Financial Crimes Commission is inquiring into the whole issue of reward money, and we are amending the Financial Crimes Commission Act precisely this afternoon so that there can be a joint inquiry whenever the need arises. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in view of the high risk of abuse and illicit use of the reward money within the police force, and to establish a transparent and accountable system to prevent such corrupt practices, the FCC, as an independent institution, and as mandated under Section 62 subsection 2J, section 6(2)J of the Financial Crimes Commission Act, they are reviewing the practices and procedures regarding the disbursement of reward money to police officers and to informers.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. May I ask the Honourable Prime Minister, in view of the opacity surrounding the procedures with regard to disbursement of those reward money, which amounts to a big scandal with regards to the sum being paid, is it not a fit and proper case under the new Public Inquiries Act 2025 to set up an inquiry with regards to procedures and disbursement of money from 2015 up to that date with regard to those big sums of money? We're talking, as per reports in the press, more than 200 million rupees with regards to reward money. Is it not a fit and proper case for a public inquiry?
The cases in court, actually, that are being exactly for the amount of reward money. Mr. Liam Dial, for example, who was Assistant Commissioner of Police, was arrested precisely for one of the things he was arrested with this, and he appeared in front of the District Court of Port Louis with a provisional charge, and again, other things are being investigated.
Honourable Jumon.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Honourable Prime Minister, can we have an idea of the amount of drugs seized for the period September-October 2024, where 50 million...
We are talking about money, reward money. We are not talking about... I don't think the Honourable Prime Minister will have this answer. Come with a proper question. There's a question. You relevant to this question?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. May I ask the Honourable Prime Minister... Thank you. May I ask the Honourable Prime Minister whether he has recommended or he has been made aware by the Commissioner of Police if a departmental inquiry within the police has been set up in regards to reward money, and if that can be extended to the defunct unit of the police, namely the SST, which itself has been in the limelight for uncouth practices, particularly with regard to the declared amount seized, but against amount what was really seized. Thank you.
Precisely, this inquiry is ongoing within the police department.
Honourable First Member for Lakavian Phoenix. B6.
B645, please.
645. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I refer the Honourable Member to the reply I made to PQIB 51 on the 17th of December of 2024, where I had provided details of the main components of the Safe City project. Regards to part A1 and 2 of the question, I'm informed by the Commissioner of Police that the project was initially planned for the installation of 4,000 intelligent video surveillance cameras and 300 intelligent traffic surveillance cameras. There has been no change in the number of cameras to be installed. All the intelligent video surveillance cameras have been installed, all of them. However, there are 4 which have been damaged and 24 are being relocated. Concerning the intelligent traffic surveillance cameras, up to now, only 157 of the cameras have been installed. The remaining 143 will be installed after completion of civil works scheduled to be completed by the end of September 2025. Mr. Deputy Speaker, as regard to part B of the question, I'm informed by the Commissioner of Police that the maintenance cost is included in the contract sum. The operation and maintenance costs amount to $8.7 million annually. As of June 2025, an amount of 98 million rupees, 952,549 rupees and 45 cents have been paid to Mauritius Telecom. I'm further informed that the contracts make provisions for Mauritius Telecom to conduct 2 plant refreshers with updated technologies every 5 to 7 years, which are included in the contract sum. There is no additional investment, in other words. The first refresh will start in December of this year, and the second will be planned for December 2032, I believe.
Honourable First Member for Savannah Black River.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. B647.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I wish to inform the House that Maubank Ltd is a subsidiary owned by Maubank Holdings Limited. The government of Mauritius is in turn the sole shareholder of Maubank Holdings Limited. Maubank Ltd has been incorporated in January of 2016 to carry on banking businesses of ex-Mauritius Post and Cooperative Bank. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I am informed by the Maubank Ltd that over the period 2016 to 2024, the company has retained the services of 39 attorneys and barristers in the private practice, of which 15 are law firms. The total amount paid to them is 40,930,790 rupees. The list is long, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I propose to list table the list of attorneys and barristers, but let me say among the top earners, Navinchandra, SC Chambers was paid an amount of 6,289,350 rupees. There is Mauritius solicitors, 5,763,322. I could go on and on, but I think it's preferable to table the list.
Next question, the Honourable First Member for Seeburn Black River.
B648.
648.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I again wish to refer the Honourable Member to the reply I made to Parliamentary Question B205 in March of this year, where I gave details of the seizure of 92.5 kilograms of cocaine in the Troctapel on the 10th of July 2019. The value, you were asking about values, that value was 1.4 billion rupees, 1.4 milliard, 1 milliard. Mr. Deputy Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed by the Commissioner of Police that the case has international ramification. The police is working in close collaboration with Interpol and other countries in the region for the identification and arrest of probable suspects. The police has sent the case file together with the report from the Financial Intelligence Unit to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for advice, and therefore the course of action will be taken accordingly. As for part B1 and 2 of the question, I'm informed that in accordance with the procedures set out in the Police Standing Order 138, all the drugs seized is safely kept in police custody and it is under a 24-hour surveillance.
The Honourable Second Member for Vieux-Grand-Port, Rosebel.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sir, it's question B/649, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I regard to part A of the question, the public sector debt in nominal terms amounted to 238 billion rupees as at the end of December 2019 and rose, 2014, and rose to 608.2 billion rupees as at the end of December 2024. In other words, from 238 billion in December 2014 to 608.2 billion in December 2024. In other words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if we just make a quick calculation, it has almost doubled over the 10-year period. At the time we left office in December 2014, the public sector debt to the GDP ratio stood at 59.5%, which was below the 60% then in force, which we had put it in together with what was being done in Europe, 60% of GDP. However, the previous government irresponsible fiscal stewardship resulted in a sharp increase in the debt ratio, reaching 87.4% by December 2024. They had themselves extended the ceiling to a statutory ceiling of 80%. From 60% to 80%. And they themselves raised that, again, went to 87.4%. The ceiling was raised precisely in an attempt to conceal the extent of the fiscal mismanagement. That is why it was done. In real terms, that is after adjusting for the rise in GDP deflate over the past 10 years, public sector debt stood around 382 billion as at the end of December 2024. And concerning part B of the question, it is manifestly evident that the estimated level of public debt of 642 billion rupees is unsustainable. We cannot sustain it. According to the 2025 IMF Article 4 consultation report, Mauritius is at a high risk of sovereign stress, reflecting mostly a high level of vulnerability in the medium and long term. This is why I say to the people who supposedly are protesting, they have no idea. They have no idea what they're saying. The previous government has burdened this country with an overwhelming level of debt. In the fiscal year 2024-2025 alone, public sector debt rose by 83 billion rupees, which is equivalent to an average daily increase of 227 million rupees. We had no option, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we had no option but to act responsibly and come up with a fiscal consolidation plan with concrete measures aimed at reducing both the budget deficit and the public sector debt, which the previous government saddled the country with. Without the implementation of these measures, public sector debt would have spiraled out of control, and they would have had severe repercussions on the public finances, also on the broader economy, and on the well-being of the population, including, I tell people you don't realize, including no pension to anyone in the coming decades if we don't do anything now. Not even 60, nobody would get pensions. This is what we are facing. This would have been inevitably also, Mr. Deputy Speaker, led to a downgrade of our credit rating to junk status by Moody's. Some people don't understand. Why should we care about Moody's? There are consequences. Such a downgrade would have had far-reaching implications, including higher borrowing costs, adverse effects on the financial services sector. The financial sector would be dead. The depreciation of the rupee will continue. Capital flight will increase. Will go more and more. Why would people put money in a country which has junk status? Nobody does this. FDI, therefore, would actually reduce to practically nil, and there would be broader negative effects on the economy. It would seriously, very seriously, jeopardize our long-term fiscal stability. With respect to debt servicing, interest payments on government debt, just interest payment, I think many people don't realize. Juste sur les intérêts qu'on doit payer, c'est 21,8 milliards for 2024-2025. Just to pay for the debt, for the interest on the debt. This is the second largest expenditure in the whole government budget after the basic retirement pension. This year, due to substantial debt accumulation over the past decade again, interest rates are projected to rise to a staggering 26.1 billion rupees. Some people might say, but you have been in government, but the debt is there. We have to pay the interest on the debt. It will be 26.1 billion rupees. This is a rise of 20% already compared to the preceding year. It's not our doing, it's the debt that they have accumulated that we have to pay now. Instead of paying 26.1 billion rupees as interest on debt, imagine that amount of money could have been used more effectively. It could have been allocated to different sectors, priority sectors such as education, such as health, such as housing. This money could have gone there. The money we have to pay the debt, the interest on the debt. Thus, the opportunity cost of high debt servicing is substantial. It diverts resources, as I said, from the developmental priorities that could stimulate economic growth and improving living standards. Sustained high-level debt, if less unaddressed, risks undermining, as I said, the whole country's growth potential and fiscal resilience. Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is why we have made a firm commitment to reclaim the fiscal serenity and gradually bring the public sector debt to a GDP ratio to a more sustainable level of 60%, as it was when we left government in 2014.